have to win.
Fighting a lefty's never been easy.
It's rough, it's tough. Competition is always out there trying to take my spot. You have to keep
I know you don't respect me.
It's no secret that AJ's got to be more aggressive in the fight.
I think we're going to see the same again. I think that Usyk has got Josh's number. If Usyk's mind is in Ukraine and not in Saudi, then something else might happen.
The Ukrainian authorities say Russia fired 8 missiles at a city in the south of the country.
Outnumbered and outgunned.
Welcome back, fight fans. This is Boxing Stars' Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk. Tale of the Fight, Episode 3.
Shout out to A1 here.
Yeah. And this is Smith's pain. It'll never be the same. This is Smith's pain. This is Smith's pain. Some shit about this money. I seen some niggas change. Smith's pain.
Usyk is a very unhappy man. I think his mind is always at home in Ukraine. After all, I know he's got his wife and children now, but he's got family in Ukraine, and he's a Ukrainian, so he feels it deeply, what's going on there. And he admitted it's very difficult for him to smile in this day and age, being a Ukrainian.
The quest continues, as Anthony Joshua and his Ukrainian counterpart Oleksandr Usyk battle for supremacy for the second time.
Back and score.
Usyk outpointed and largely outclassed a game Joshua in front of 70,000 fans at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last September to win the WBA, WBO, IBF and IBO world titles.
If Joshua boxes him like he did last time, it's going to be the same thing. But if he takes the distance away from Usyk, if he takes the distance away, gets close, bangs the body, gets close, make Usyk uncomfortable, he's going to set him up, he's going to land the shot and knock him out.
And new heavyweight champion of the world, the fighting pride of Ukraine, Oleksandr.
As the world turns, money and power has led a bigger division between the East and the West of the world. Sadly, it has caused tragic disaster to humanity and conurbation. Russia's war on Ukraine, where Usyk is from, has had an impact on the rematch with Joshua being made. It delayed the fight 2 times because he had to return to his homeland earlier this year to join the fight against Russia, which began in February.
Since Russia and Putin has also been trying to play down its significance.
How's your family? Good. Everything in Ukraine. Keep your head up, yeah?
But Usyk had been given a chance to prosper into the rematch with Joshua and now in training camp for the biggest fight of his life, but one that he knows he can win. Joshua lost for the second time in his career but remains one of the most popular faces in the sport. The British superstar could become a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world but knows he has a mountain to climb against the Ukrainian in this summer's rematch in Saudi Arabia.
I took it L. This is a fight that I said I went in as a favourite. I should have won. I just didn't push the gas enough to make sure that I took them belts with me. We might have to box. That's what he said. It depends what Usyk brings as well. It's like trying to swat a fly. You know, yeah. I could go in there, because I'm the bigger man, I'm going to go in there and just swat this fly and it's going to die. But ultimately, you know how difficult it is to swat a fly that moves around a lot and how energy draining that is. Like, I just can't now come in and start boxing like Mike Tyson. It's just not me. I've got to be the best me.
Kenny has to negate that with his assets, which is his power, his speed, his combination punching. Easier said than done, but certainly I believe you're going to see a much more aggressive Anthony Joshua in this fight.
3-time heavyweight champion of the world.
I'd like to give a shout out to my niggas with the game plan. And shout out to my niggas with escape plan.
Yeah, you're baller.
Like you know these niggas, every one of my...
Your message, I am so
Steady taking shots and never hurting them. Even then, y'all don't worry nothing.
I came, I saw, I came, I saw. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours.
Joshua tactically was all over the place in the first fight, doing everything he shouldn't do, trying to outbox, you know, a brilliant technician. And obviously, He then do the same again in August. But can he nail Usyk? Can he rough him up? Or is Usyk too clever to get involved in that kind of fight?
I waited in line, the new design, return, refine.
AJ is not just an elite fighter. He's the biggest star in boxing at the moment. According to my knowledge, according to what I see, AJ is a very intelligent person. He's very smart. He behaves like a gentleman. He doesn't bring those dirty things in boxing like many Americans do. He's not looking for cheap attention, for cheap fame. He's like behaving like an elite person. As an athlete, he's already created a miracle. Being an amateur, within just 45 fights, he completed European, World and Olympic championships. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And after that, he moved to heavyweights. He became the world champion. He unified. He defended his titles. With Klitschko, it was something extraordinary because that fight showed how strong mentally he is. He can go down, then stand up, bring the guy down and win the fight. And when you think of two guys like Usyk and AJ, both Olympic champions of the same Olympic Games, colliding in the ring for the unified championship, it takes you out of planet Earth, you know? It doesn't happen often. It happens maybe once in 5, once in 10 years.
Why do you think AJ didn't do that on the night? Why didn't he pull the trigger in the way that everyone expected him to do?
It's so hard against Oleksandr Usyk. 1 minute he's there, the next minute he's not. He makes you think and feel that he's there, but he's actually not there at all. He's the master of the judgment of distance. He controls it in the fight, and he controlled it in that fight. The biggest shock came in the very first round when he gets a reaction out of AJ with the first heavy left arm. Straight away there, and that kind of shouldn't happen. The smaller fighters shouldn't really get a reaction out the big guy.
You know, Usyk is a light heavyweight, he's put the weight on, but he's a fantastic boxer. He's a 100% boxer. Classy guy. You got to take him out of his comfort zone. If you can, you win. If you don't, it's going to be the same fight.
Usyk is going to be a tough task, but yes, I do think a confident AJ can overwhelm Usyk because he's just that much bigger. You want to see that Joshua that was threatening Dominic Brazil, like, you're not about that life. Watch your mouth. You know, that's the kind of Joshua we want to see. And Usyk, we know, is going to come in there prepared mentally and physically.
You keep talking about this old AJ. That guy's gone. That was a youthful guy. It was millions of years ago when he won the world title. 6 or 7 years. That guy's gone. That was a 24, 25, 26-year-old. This guy's a mature 32-year-old man. Everything's a bit heavier, everything's a little bit slower, and everything needs to be a little bit smarter. So what you're saying about whether his head's in the right place, if we equate that to ring intelligence, and he's got that ring intelligence, he needs to plug back into it. Roberto Garcia reminded him of what he knows. If he can do what he did in the past, with a little bit of the cautionary AJ we saw against Ruiz, then he not only wins, he wins well. Because I'll tell you one thing, we expected him to beat Ruiz, especially when Ruiz weighed in, because he'd lived in a fridge for the last 3 months. We expected him to beat Ruiz. Most people don't expect him to beat Usyk. Not only do I expect him to beat Usyk, Carl, I expect him to beat him in style, look good doing it.
I can't predict, it'll be silly of me, but I will do everything I can to make sure it's a defining performance.
They want me die young, but me not afraid of them. Cause me stick one guy, me not copy them.
Listen, it's a rough and tough sport, especially fighting these lefties. They're a nightmare, but it is what it is, isn't it? Got to dig deep, tuck up, and not make the same mistake twice, basically.
He ran out on a nigga that's a shot. Cold-hearted nigga with the block. With Jamie winning all me better. them try sacrifice we like cat.
It's really important for Anthony Joshua in this rematch to get his mind strong, and I think the biggest thing I'd say would be beliefs.
You know, seeing the size difference and, you know, just the height, the reach, the weight, everything's in Anthony's advantage. So we gotta take advantage of that. You know, we gotta train him to focus on that and come fight night, you know, do whatever, you know, what we need to do to win.
What he needs to do in this fight is understand that he's bigger, stronger, he's got more reach, you know, he's heavier, he's got all the physical attributes, but he needs to switch that computer brain on and start to believe in himself and start to get tactics engraved in there in this training camp.
Anthony Joshua's got to use educated pressure and be aggressive in the first 6 rounds. If Usyk's there 7, 8, 9 rounds, I think AJ's got problems again, but I liked what he said.
He has to adjust and be able to cope with Oleksandr Usyk's style, and I think the way to do it is just to walk him down, and that's inherently risky, but that's what he's got to do. You either go out on your shield, and that's the way I think he's got to win. He's certainly not going to win by trying to be out technical box him. It's not going to work because he was tottering in that last round. It looked like he was ready to go, and so he really has got to be brave, aggressive, take a risk, and risks pay off.
Everyone's saying Joshua should impose himself on Usyk, and he surely knows he can't outbox him, so he has to take more chances. It might work, but it's a roll of the dice. More likely he'll just gas out sooner, missing his slippery, elusive target, and then either Usyk presses for the stoppage sometime before the 12th round. It's important to take into account that we most probably see an even better Usyk, and he won't fall down the same rabbit hole as Ruiz. This is someone who could have retired after reaching undisputed at cruiserweight, but took on the chance to move up to the most dangerous division in boxing to chase greatness. He's stated multiple times he will not stop until he's achieved his goal as the undisputed heavyweight champion.
Money, brother, sometimes your idol become
Pistol on me, nigga, ain't no picking on me. We veterans, so it's better if you go get your army. I used to see you niggas on my TV screen and wonder what was life like, was it all a dream?
You had practically all the belts. They were in your house, in your arms. He came into your home and he took them. How does that make you feel?
2 things. Life can hit you when you least expect it. The second thing is I've got an opportunity to go and get them back. So I've got to make the right changes necessary to do that.
Shot fired, home invasion out of Palm out. Red beam detonators, who the palm now? Look you in your eyes, nigga, before I say goodnight. And pray that Manny Fresh will get to see the light.
He's got to take advantage of the clinches, because in the first fight in the clinches, he was just holding on for a rest himself. And so Usyk could get his rest. Look at Tyson Fury now, whenever he gets somebody in a clinch, who comes out of that clinch knackered? It's the guy that he's fighting, the smaller guy.
Too little natural ability, relative lack of experience from AJ, and poor advice to play chess with Usyk by McCracken. It cost both of them. Heavyweights of yesteryear wouldn't have put up with that. More inside grinding, better guards, draw your man in. Joshua was too worried about being hit, and so ended up being hit all night. Failed to take advantage of his assets, and fighting Usyk's fight was the recipe for disaster. AJ can't win a boxing match with Usyk, but he can win a war if he has the balls. Why didn't he just use his imposing jab the first time? Did Usyk take it away? Wasn't his plan to pull a Teofimo Lopez and show no respect to the master boxer Lomachenko from the get-go? But instead, Joshua gave Usyk all the respect after fielding a few slick counters. Joshua will have to shock Usyk in this rematch and make it a tactical dogfight if he wants a chance to regain his quest for greatness and regain the belts.
Dealing with so much hostility, negative socialism.
But sometimes he just waffles this talk where it sounds like really philosophical and stuff. But it seems very scripted. But then when he breaks character like that, then you know there's something's going on, and that's why I said his head's a bit gone.
There's something in me that's triggered. Yeah, something in me's triggered.
And it's up to Joshua to make the fight how the first fight should have been and correct his mistakes. But can he do it? It's like Usyk's a very skilled fighter, good head movement, footwork, and boxing brains, and like very calculated how he like go to approach. But then obviously Joshua's a bigger man. He's stronger. He's got a bigger punch. But I mean, Usyk can. I don't know. Do you think maybe Usyk can knock Joshua out? I don't know.
I refuse to be petrified. And there's no mercy for the rivals. Pussy nigga want war till it's bonjour. Negative people just seem to fail first. Then we stare at each other and see who catch first. I suggest you stay alert. No, I've never been lenient, nor a man of mercy.
Listen, let me be real with you, yeah? At this stage of my career, it ain't about the money. It's about the respect.
This is from Anthony Joshua. I swear I thought I was winning. I thought I was looking like Muhammad Ali in there. I didn't get any impression that I was losing. Your thoughts on his comment?
Well, I'm surprised because, yes, I think the corner should have told him. I mean, I was watching the fight and I watched it on television actually, so you can't really judge. But for me, Usyk was winning very comfortably. And I know Josh said he only started taking control after round 9. I don't believe that. I think he was in control from the first bell to the last. And the corner should have told him. If they knew how to read a fight, they should have told him, you've got to knock him out to win. And then he didn't even try to knock him out. He thought he was, as he said, he thought he was being like Muhammad Ali in there.
It really is an interesting fight. We know AJ is going to be better, there's hardly any doubt about that. Will AJ opt for the aggressive, bullish tactics that everyone thinks he should employ? Or will he stand off a bit? The bigger question mark for me is Usyk. The situation in Ukraine could either galvanize and turn him into a beast, or do the opposite. Hard to know. Top that with the relative ease in how he dealt with AJ in Fight 1. It was a pretty comprehensive win. After all, he didn't put a foot wrong really. He did seem to hold back a little bit toward the end of the fight. So I have no doubt he's got a lot more to give. The anticipation for a better performance from AJ is all over the media. He'll be more aggressive, quicker, and will try to bully Usyk. Thank you for watching Boxing Stars. Hope you've enjoyed our Tale of the Fight episodes. Please like, share, and subscribe to help our channel. Also hit the notification bell to never miss any of our new videos.